In Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the Gnoll is described as a human-hyena hybrid creature known for being brutal and warlike. They were larger than an average human, standing at over 7 feet tall, and were covered in fur and a mane that ranged from grey to ruddy red. They have an AC of 15 while wielding a shield, and 22 hit points, as well as a +2 to strength, a +1 to dex, a 0 in constitution, a -2 in intelligence, a 0 in wisdom, and a -2 in charisma, giving them a challenge rating of half. They are relatively simple creatures that, by default, wield a spear and a shield. The spear has a +4 to hit and deals 1d6 +2 damage, or 1d8 +2 if wielded two-handed. They also have a longbow that they can use for range, which has a +3 to hit and deals 1d8 +1 damage. In addition to this, they have a bite attack with a +4 to hit that deals 1d4 +2 damage, and a trait called Rampage that procs when a Gnoll manages to down a player. If they reduce a creature to 0 HP, they are able to use their bonus action to move up to half of their speed, 15 feet, towards another creature and make a bite attack if they are within range. As with many of the other low-level monsters in D&D, the Gnolls employ a simple yet effective strategy. Most of the time, I would pit a pack of Gnolls against a party of level 3 or 4, which allows me to use at least 4 Gnolls in the encounter. I would use most of the Gnolls to surround or swarm the players, attacking whoever is closest, and I would have them fighting in close quarters like a cave lair or the streets of a town that they're attacking, in order to better get the Gnolls at the casters and long-range players. I would have the main Gnolls attacking players directly with their melee weapons, while at least 1 or 2 stay at the back of the pack and launch arrows at the party. As the frontline Gnolls are killed, I would have the archers move in to take their place. For added danger or effect, I might decide to give some of the Gnolls different weapons, such as great swords, battle axes, etc. Keep in mind that altering the weaponry they use will make a difference to the creature's AC, as well as the overall difficulty of the encounter. Similar to the Beholder and other creatures original to D&D, the Gnoll as we know it does not have a direct counterpart in mythology. They are a human-animal hybrid, which is a staple in many ancient religions and myths, and this idea is steeped into creatures found all over D&D. Some notes from the original version of D&D state that Gnolls are gnome or troll hybrids in origin, but this was scrapped in favor for the hyena hybrid that we know and love. Or hate. Ironically, while the Gnoll may not have a mythological counterpart, it has served as the inspiration for countless other games and forms of media. The one that comes most immediately to my mind would be the MMO World of Warcraft, which uses Gnolls as a common enemy in low-level areas, mostly in the human starting zones. These are pretty much copies of the Gnoll from D&D, who employ pack tactics and swarming attacks to defeat players. Screw you, Hogger, by the way. While there is no direct myth connection, it is likely that the name of the Gnoll has been lifted from a short story in the book The Book of Wonders by Irish fantasy writer Lord Dunsany. This short story was called How Nuth Would Practice His Art Upon the Gnolls, in which thieves led by a man named Nuth break into the lair of creatures who are called Gnolls, Gnolls being spelled G-N-O-L-E. These creatures are not physically described, but are assumed to be trollish or gnomish in stature, based on the fact that they hide in tree holes and watch Nuth and his apprentice enter their home. They then spring forth and ambush the burglars. Nuth escapes these fae-like beings, but his apprentice, unfortunately, does not. Since there isn't a direct myth connection, there really isn't anything to compare other than the origin of the name. In Lord Dunsany's tale, the Gnolls seem to be fairies or possibly goblinoids or trolls, while the Gnolls in D&D started in the concept stage as gnomish or trollish, but quickly changed to the hyena-human hybrid creatures with tentative connections to the demonic abyss. Gnolls in 5th edition worship the demon lord Yenogu, who many of them believe is the creator of their race. They see signs of their demon lord in everything they do, and even go as far as to summon or follow actual demons into battle. Despite this reverence, the Gnolls rarely participate in any actual rituals, and clerics or warlocks were very rare within their ranks. So rare that when a Gnoll was blessed by their lord, they became something slightly different. If you enjoyed that video, consider giving it a like and giving me a follow. And for more of my videos, you can find me on Twitch @Moglaroo, YouTube @Moglaroo Streams, and TikTok @Moglaroo Streams as well.